A warm welcome to the show. The season is over at the Teatr Wielki Polish National Opera, and La Bayadère has taken its final bow. But for one dancer, this final run came with a unique personal challenge. Joining us now is Magda Studzińska to tell us about counting every arabesque, her ballet journey, social media, and what's next this summer. Hello and welcome, delighted to have you with us.
Hello, it's a pleasure to be with you.
So, La Bayadère will no longer be a part of the repertoire at the Teatr Wielki. How do you feel about this change?
I have to say it is a bittersweet feeling, because La Bayadère is just as challenging as it is rewarding. You have to really keep focused and keep yourself in a really good shape throughout the whole process. But also performing it is a great joy, because you get to experience this true beauty of classical ballet. And even though I have performed it many times this season and also a few years back, every single time I can appreciate the beauty of it.
So this production has been praised indeed for its scale and beauty. However, it was criticized for its somewhat dated depiction of India. So has this conversation been reflected in the ballet world as well?
Well, yes, I've heard about it, and I do understand that those conversations exist. But myself, I experience it primarily as an iconic work of classical ballet. I think we are telling the audience a story, like a fairy tale, a story about love and loss, and so we can show them some of the most beautiful corps de ballet scenes ever created, and that's what matters to me.
And the Kingdom of the Shades is one of the iconic moments in classical ballet. What makes it so challenging?
Well, this is a corps de ballet scene, so there are 24 dancers, and we have to be in a perfect unisono, like perfect synchronization all the time. But it's not only about being in one line and dancing in the same tempo. I think we should be breathing in the same rhythm, like create the atmosphere of the scene and give this performance a soul. I think that's what truly matters. And for me, entering the stage as the first shade was especially unique, because as the curtain rises, I am there alone in the middle and I can start this whole magic. So I think that's special.
And you've decided to count every arabesque performed both during rehearsals and during performances. Yes. So what made you take on this challenge?
Well, I have already performed this role a couple seasons ago, and I knew how challenging it is. And I felt like to do it, I need some extra support. And we started rehearsing a full month before the first performance, so I knew it was going to be many, many arabesques to come. And well, the whole idea is quite simple. It was like an innocent experiment. And I have to say it really exceeded my expectations. Like the amount of support I have received from my colleagues and from the audience was astonishing. I loved it and I appreciated it a lot. But also I feel like it made the invisible work visible for the audience. Like they could see how many repetitions, how much resilience, patience, discipline is behind all of those beautiful performances.
Do tell us more, because it was 1,677 arabesques. So how much work does it actually take?
It is a lot of work, also because most of the arabesques I do on the right leg. So my right standing leg, I had some overworked muscles and some problems with my back. I mean, nothing too major, but I needed to really take care of the recovery and make sure my muscles are in a good shape.
So can you tell us more about how a typical day in the life of a ballerina looks like?
Yes. So in the morning we always have a ballet class, a warm-up all together with the company. And then we start rehearsals. For Bayadère we had, for example, the Kingdom of the Shades every single day for at least 1 hour. So that's truly demanding process. And then we would keep rehearsing for up to 7 hours a day. And then by the time the performances approach, we have usually one morning stage call and then performance in the evening. And after, there's some corrections in the morning and we keep performing.
How do people deal with this sort of, huge demand of physical demand of this work?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's really individual. It depends on the body and on the dancer, also on the roles that you are performing, because sometimes we do different roles in different performances. We change the casts. But myself, I would make sure that I am always really warmed up and up for the challenge. I think it's also important to keep the right mindset, to focus, to be calm, be composed. Like, take care of yourself, sleep, rest, eat well. That's, I mean, of course, important too.
Both you and your colleagues have a substantial following on social media, and I was wondering, why do you think people are so interested in ballet, or what's going on behind the scenes?
I think because we are a really specific environment. Sometimes myself, I'm laughing that we are living in this ballet bubble, because the whole day we are in the theater. Like, after the rehearsals, you're usually tired, you need to recover your body, you need to rest or prepare for the upcoming performances. And that's something most people don't see every day or don't know much about. So to see this backstage or some rehearsing process, I think they find it really interesting.
So you have to exercise, but do you also have to diet, for instance? What other demands?
I think it's really individual, depends on the body type, of course. But I think eating healthy is important because you need to be energetic, you need to be fit. But of course, we can allow ourselves some little treats sometimes.
So how did your journey with ballet start?
I started taking ballet classes when I was 6 years old, like unprofessional, just as a little girl. Every little girl has a dream to become a ballerina. But I don't have any dancers or artists in my family, so it was just me. But thankfully, I received a huge amount of support from my parents and my family, so I could follow up and make my dreams come true.
But it is a huge challenge, right? So you've sort of completed how many years of education in order to be where you are right now?
The professional ballet school is 9 years, and then you get a dancer's diploma and you can start working in a professional ballet theater.
I do admire, the amount of work it takes and discipline, of course. But I wanted to go back to social media, because in addition to being dancers, you're also content creators nowadays. So how do you balance the two?
In a way, yes. Like myself, I am a very private person. I usually like to keep everything to myself. But also I see how much interest there is among the audience. And most of the people are really, really kind and really interested about not only the performances, but also the process. So I thought sometimes it's really nice to share some little insight or show them how our work looks like. And for example, the idea of the arabesque count, it was really welcomed. So I think it would be nice to have more initiatives like this in the future.
So we discussed the Bayadère, but what about some other shows? What are you going to be working on this fall? Any exciting new premieres, perhaps?
Oh, I guess certainly. We are beginning the season with a ballet gala, which I'm incredibly excited about because we're going to have some guesting soloists from the best theaters around the world. And I think it's a wonderful opportunity also for the audience to see them, but also for us because they're going to be joining us for this warm-up in the morning or during some rehearsals. We can look how they are preparing, and that's going to be very inspiring, I believe. And then I think the titles from this season, Androide are coming back, and Giselle is going to come back as well, so another major classical ballet with this white scene that the audience always loves so much. And the Symphonious Dance, the Balanchine Symphony in C is going to come back as well. And in December, we're going to prepare a big premiere of Coppelia, which is also incredibly exciting, by a French choreographer, Manuel Legris.
Yeah, that is great and exciting to hear. But I wanted to talk a little more about the challenges, because we've heard from some other ballet dancers that it is extremely strenuous and that, it actually poses a huge challenge for your body. So how do you deal with that?
I think it also comes with years of experience, I have to say. When I was younger, I didn't know all of that. But you really have to be responsible and take care of your body. So sometimes that means when after those hours of rehearsals, I cannot just go home and chill, but I should do some physiotherapy, maybe do some stretching, and that's only for myself, so I can feel good and be ready for work the next day. For example, with La Bayadère, we had the premiere of Delusions on the beginning of June. That's more of a modern style, so it's not really ballet. But already then I knew that Bayadère is coming back, and those arabesques are going to be tough. So I would make some back strengthening exercises and make sure my legs are in shape, because that's also sort of injury prevention. And I mean, no one wants to get injured, obviously. So that requires a lot of work.
What is the feedback from other dancers who also worked on La Bayadère? How have they dealt with this?
I think it's really challenging for everyone, because also the soloists are usually having a few casts, so they exchange. They can do one day break, for example. But the corps de ballet, most of us were dancing every single day, every single rehearsal. So that's really, truly demanding, also for the body, but also for the mind. And I have to say, Our company is great because we would really support each other, even backstage. Like you could see someone struggling or having some doubts and we would really be there for each other. That's, I think, also really important. Because there are maybe those like rumors of rivalization and all that. And of course that exists, but I think it's quite healthy actually.
And looking into the future at your career, what are you hoping to achieve? What are your plans?
Oh, I'm already really happy being where I am, and the little Magda would have dreamed about becoming a choreographed dancer in the Polish National Ballet. But of course I would love to do many more soloist roles in the classical ballets especially, and I hope I will get such possibilities in the future.
And would that be in Poland or perhaps abroad?
In Poland for the moment. I'm happy to be with the Polish National Ballet.
So the summer is upon us, so I was wondering, you have a well-deserved break.
Certainly.
Any exciting plans?
Yes, usually during the summer I take a little break from ballet, but of course I would make sure my body stays in shape with some Pilates or yoga, but honestly that's just for the pleasure. I really like to move and keep in shape, that's good. But also I am a huge fan of classical music, it's like a passion of mine. And for already 3 years I've been volunteering at the Verbier Festival in Switzerland, so I'm gonna come back there this year as well.
But just to get it right, over the next 2 months you're not going to be rehearsing?
We are coming back to work in middle of August to get back in shape before our famous gala in September.
So it's still a long break, right? I mean, going from exercising every day to sort of...
I mean, yeah, it is a challenge. Like when the date of coming back approaches, I'm gonna start probably moving a bit more, putting point shoes on, because, you know, we need to be back at it. Full shape.
Magda, and before we go, I also wanted to ask you about the gender gap. Is there a gender gap in ballet? Are men treated differently than women?
I mean, it is a difficult question. I'm sure the competition is bigger among women, certainly, because there is more female roles. There is more girls, I think, in general. Ballet is more popular among the girls. So it may seem that the men are a bit more privileged, but also it's as challenging for them as it is for us. I think that's not the question.
I'm sure it must be, but I was just wondering whether it's perhaps more challenging for women in the end.
I mean, I think just because there's like so many girls. Every girl, I think, when she starts ballet, she would like to become the prima ballerina, the soloist, the first dancer. But it's not always possible, and I think it's also important to understand it while your career is developing. What are your possibilities? Because I think once you get professional, you see that maybe I don't have such technical abilities or this artistry that is demanded from a prima ballerina. So I think you need to understand that at some point. It's just, you know.
And in terms of talent versus hard work, what is the ratio in ballet? Is it 90% hard work and 10% talent, or is it a bit different here?
In my opinion, it's sort of 50-50, to be honest, because hard work is tremendously important, and without hard work you cannot achieve anything in ballet. But the talent and the artistry, this special something that catches the attention of the audience, I think is really, really important as well. Because sometimes you can see really, really hard-working dancers, and they would be excellent technically, but they would lack something, this special something, and you cannot replace it.
This X factor, something
yeah, exactly.
that is. Okay. Well, I'm sure you do have it. Thank you so very much for joining us today.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
And thank you for watching Pulse of Culture. Please stay tuned for more here on TVP World.